Hola!
Bonjour.
Ni hao.
Moi.
Konnichiwa.
Ahoy.
Toast.
Hey, let's check.
He was. We learned that last week.
And then can I say another one which Lila sent in from Hungary? And that's see ya. Hungarian hello. Whatever language you say it, everybody. Welcome to the Normal Not Normal podcast. I'm James Phelps.
And I'm Oliver Phelps. And guys, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us, because there will be, every now and then throughout this season, the odd extra episode, we'll call this one, dropping in between the normal slots. And this week we have got on a very, very cool guest. Someone we've been lining up to speak to for quite a while now, and we're so glad we're able to do it.
Slam dunk, are you ready to make me?
And today we're joined by Cam Jordan, who is the defensive end for the New Orleans Saints and one of the top players in the NFL. So that's making him one of the best sports stars in the world, I guess. He's defensive end pro bowler, which means he's basically the all-star player in that position in the NFL and has been for 6 seasons. He's currently in his 10th year with the NFL, being a pro American footballer, as we will call it over here. But for a few months now, we've been chatting with Cam to arrange to chat to him on the Normal Not Normal podcast. And originally we were hoping we were going to be able to talk to him when his team were about to play in the Super Bowl. But unfortunately, they fell a couple of games shy of making it there. But it's still great to talk to him and learning all about what it takes to be a pro sportsman, especially in such a cutthroat league like the NFL, and how he goes about what his normal is.
And also, the great thing I think I really enjoyed talking about him was that even if you don't know or have any interest in the NFL or professional sports in general, just his whole story, his attitude, I thought was so inspiring to listen to. And also talking to him about some of his other attributes as well, when he gets up to his charity work, his stuff he's been doing online, and just his general outlook, I thought was really, really great to be able to talk to him about.
And also hearing about when he was at college and how you have to, obviously, when you play sports in college, you're playing for free and there's a lot of demand on you on that to perform. But equally, you've still got to get your studying done. So it is fascinating to hear his story through that as well. But like I say, he's a very down-to-earth guy. Really enjoy speaking to him. So I really do hope that you guys can enjoy it too. But like Oliver said, today, as we release this, is Super Bowl week.
Hooray! So there is actually something that we need to clear up if your terminologies aren't too on point with American football rules. So when we talk about a play isn't like going on stage.
I tell you what, just explain what the game is.
Okay, so American football, in a sense, is a game of percentages, of domination of yardage. Best way to describe it. So you want to get your ball into as far into the opposition's territory as possible. So you've got 4 attempts, downs, to get the ball 10 yards. Each yard, and then when you get beyond 10 yards, you then start a new roll of 4 until culminating in hopefully getting into the end zone, meaning it's a touchdown.
So when we speak to Cam, we talk about plays and how you have to learn plays. This is what we're referring to. Like Oliver tried to say, we're not talking about Shakespeare or anything like that.
Oh, all right, come on. Gosh, you're making a meal of this one.
Just saying. Anyway, the Super Bowl as well is the best teams from the AFL and the NFL. So let me categorise with my pens. So we've got Moomin. We'll say he'll be NFC, right?
Yes.
And then we have the my camel from Dubai, who will be the AFC.
Yes.
And they play to see who will be the best
of the two conferences.
That'd be a great teams, wouldn't it? The Camels or the Moomins.
Well, Washington are looking for a new name.
The Washington Moomins.
Yeah, could be quite good.
That'd work.
The Washington
Moomin
Camels. Yeah, maybe you should put that to the commissioner. Drop a message.
Should write in, yeah.
Right, I've got a new idea for this one. Yeah. So that'll be very, very exciting. Can't wait to be able to get on to chatting with Cam as well. Because I know what I'll be doing for the Super Bowl is just chilling out, watching the game, and just pigging out a lot of foods as well. That's normally how it rolls. Even though it's later on in the evening here, when I'll be coming out, I will be munching on my chocolate. I'll be having some Wizards chocolate, which I'm very happy to say is now in HMV, and there's an exclusive goodie pack. What is available on there? Have you tried it? The new stuff, the new lines, mate. Tried it? It's good.
Yeah, I like the berry one, the forest one.
Exactly. So anyway, big shout out to everyone there who's been checking that out and sending us messages on social media, especially going through the new partnership with hmv.com and .co.uk.
Yes. Also, guys, I'd like to say thank you very much for all your messages and your response about merchandise. I've loved some of the designs. They've been very, very funny. So I think this is definitely something which we will go down. What kind of thing would you guys be after? Is a good question.
What do you mean, like T-shirts or hats?
What do you want, T-shirts,
masks?
Hats? I was thinking like books, like notepads and books or something like that.
Yeah. I thought, right, what about a bag, right, that you could, like, I'd call it Oliver's rant bag. So if you have to go on a rant at something and no one's around to listen to you, you can just rant into this bag and just get it out the way. So you like expressed yourself and it's done.
You would look very strange if you sat on a park bench and you just put a bag over your head going, whoa, whoa.
Well, it's
stealing my thoughts. Why are you stealing my thoughts? I don't know why I'm here.
I don't mean you put it on your head. I mean you literally just like untie it and just start going off in a rant of one. Hang on, let me try and find an example of said rant bag. This one here. Okay, here we go. Right. So you got your bag, right? Rant bag. Comes with straps. So you can also keep stuff in it if you want to.
Like most bags.
Like most bags. And then, exactly. See, it's a multi-purpose piece of merchandise here. We're not just selling one thing, we're selling the dream. And, so you start going, gosh, this is really irritating. This is really irritating. This is really irritating. So it could be something
I can relate to that one.
It could be something like, okay, so say today, right, you're watching the Super Bowl advert, and why is it, right, so you start going your rant, why is this happening now? Why is nearly everybody on these adverts smiling when there's no reason to be smiling about it? This lady here, she's smiling so much, even though she's so happy that she's got a pad that she can wear in her pants so it doesn't look like she can wet herself. She's smiling from ear to ear. Look, the woman is still having a wee. Why is that on the television right now? It's put me totally off my chicken pie. And then you do the bag up, zip, and the world's a better place.
What I want to know is why, you always know when there's an advert for like toothpaste, because they always speak like that.
Like that, yeah.
My dentist said use this toothpaste. I bet she did. Yeah. Of course, what's she going to say?
My dentist told me
this car instead.
Yeah, my dentist told me to use this toothpaste, even though it's clear that I know what I'm doing when it comes to brushing my teeth. Why don't they ever get someone, right, who's got, like, really messed up teeth? Says, my dentist has told me to use this. I'm not using this right now. And then the next advert, about 3 months down the line, they've got nice, white, pearly white teeth. There's an ad campaign. Do you ever think? It's like showing you, oh, great, you can get the same results with obviously what you're already using.
We could. But anyway, back to today.
If you could do an advert for this show on the Super Bowl, how would it go?
Did you know that an advert for the Super all right, let me get this one in.
This is what you would do for it.
Yeah, I'd say, hello everybody. I'm James Phelps and I'm from Normal Not Normal podcast, and we talk to a lot of people about what their normal is. I also give Did You Knows. Did you know CBS paid $1.65 million in 1962 for the first exclusive rights to broadcast the NFL games? Fox pays apparently $1.15 billion per year now for the NFC package. That doesn't even cover the NFL Championship, which NBC acquired for just over £1 million, which will nowadays only buy you 30 seconds worth of a Super Bowl ad.
Get it now, where you get your podcast from. What an advert that would be! You'd remember it. You'd remember it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but you'd have to sit there like this. But today we have Cam joining us, and like we say, really nice guy, really good chat. And even if you're not into NFL, American football, or sports in general, it is really fascinating to hear his story because he came from a family where his dad was actually an NFL player, but he played in a time where the top salary of a league player was like $30,000, and his dad actually had a degree from Brown University as an engineer, and he could earn more being an engineer than an NFL player. So he actually did two jobs at the same time. He doesn't talk about that, but it's something we read in. So we actually saw that he grew up seeing his dad as a sportsman and what it took to do that. But we also talk about now the pressures of learning everything there is to learn to be a professional sportsman and the dedication you get. But it's also nice to hear that he's a pretty grounded guy, isn't he? So it's really good to hear his story.
Exactly. Well, anyway, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here is Cameron Jordan.
Well, Cam, thank you very much for joining us today. How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say congratulations on the Pro Bowl again.
Yeah, 6'1". I'm a legacy kid. My dad played in the NFL for 13 years, had 6 Pro Bowls. I finally tied. I'm not lesser of a son. I've lived up to the dream.
Well, going on that, Cam, so our podcast is called Normal Not Normal. We're pretty much determining that there isn't actually a normal
Right.
existence, as it were. But growing up, what was your normal growing up? Like, what kind of kid were you?
I would say everybody's definition of normal is probably going to be so obscure. Like everybody's not going to match up with the same normal. My normal would be, wrestling and fighting with my older brother and treating my little sister like she was a little brother, so, my dad played football. So we're very, I would like to say larger than normal people, like I'm 6'4", 285 pounds. I don't know what that means in kilograms. It's probably like $117. I don't, if I think I can do the conversion right, maybe $118. But my brother probably has about 40 pounds on me, and he's probably about 6'3". I take that back. That'd be a little light for him. He probably has about 50 pounds on me, and then my dad is probably about so I'm 6'4", my brother's 6'2", 6'3", my dad's 6'5". So it's a lot of throwing a lot of weight around in our household. So just growing up, and I mean, that's all from beginning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as long as I can remember, being pinned down and beat up to, 15, 16, now pinning people down and beating people up. It is, times change and reverse. But yeah, I mean, growing up was awesome. I mean, grew up in Minnesota, which is a completely different climate in which I really grew up in. I mean, my first 6 years of life, I was in land of 1,000 lakes, which it gets to be, below 20 degrees, 30 degrees, Fahrenheit anyways.
That's pretty much the same. It's cold when you get to that stage, isn't it?
Cold as hell. Luckily, I mean, we moved to Arizona when I was like 6, so I never had to worry about snow again. Like I've been blessed. I went from Arizona, where it's 115 degrees in the summer. Our winter is like 65 degrees, to California, which everybody knows California is like the perfect place to live in the world in terms of climate. It's just like beautiful all year round. And then I moved down to New Orleans, Louisiana, when I got drafted a decade ago. Shoot.
Yeah.
A full blown decade ago. But I mean, I legit, if it's not shorts and sweater weather, I'm really not here for it. Like if I can't wear flip-flops every day, I don't want to be there.
No, I completely agree. Completely agree. I mean, so I was reading an interview, or actually a letter that you penned recently, Cam, and you were talking about your upbringing and stuff. And reading it, we've actually got a couple of things in common in terms of both our parents or our mums made us Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle costumes.
Okay.
So our mum.
Which one? I need to know which one were you. I need to know. This is sort of
Raphael.
So
I was, yeah.
Okay.
I was Leonardo, the leader, obviously.
Okay. No,
And then
Who are you?
who are you
I
actually?
was, I was definitely Leonardo. Like I assumed leadership roles at every chance. But Raphael means like, you know, you thought you were the leader. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, that's
like,
it. Yeah, he always seems to think he had the leader, but he had a bit of a lip to him, didn't he? So
No doubt. No doubt.
and then obviously, and then also as well, I remember reading about how you were saying about the Power Rangers thing as well. So again, I was always wanting to be the Red Ranger. James always wanted to be the Green Ranger. And so yeah, slight similarities there, but I think that's probably where it ends roughly.
I feel like every kid grows up trying to be either, you know, a ninja turtle or a Power Ranger. And then there's, you know, deviations, you know, you just go on. And I think I took after Robin Hood for a little while. Like Robin Hood was my ideal hero because he didn't listen to anybody and just like got to do what he wanted to do, whether it was good, bad, or indifferent, you know? So I think I just started following that course. Like, I'm just going to do me for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Well, it's done you well so far.
hasn't been bad. Hasn't been bad at all.
No, exactly. But I mean, so obviously, like in your home life at the moment, your wife is an ex basketball player herself. You know, in terms of like professional athlete. How does that? Is that helpful in how you get on type thing, and how did you actually meet? More importantly, like there's a bit of a story there, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, you know, she played professionally overseas in Finland, and then was about to play in Germany, which would have been awesome, you know, in terms of visiting. But then she got pregnant with our son. So, but I mean, prior to that, we had met in actual New Orleans. For this big, you know, national tournament, the Final Four tournament for college, which is just, you know, it's huge for us anyways. It sort of whittles down the nation's top basketball teams in the D1 programs. So she went to the University of Rutgers, which I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with. It's some small school in New Jersey.
Okay.
Like the armpit of America.
Sorry for anyone listening in New Jersey.
It's tough. I mean, when I think Jersey, I automatically think Jersey Shore, and I'm not sure if that's accurate or not. So,
right,
that's tough. Like when you think Snooki, that's not what you want to see as a people. Polly D and freaking DJ, whatever he is now. But yeah, so she played ball at Rutgers. They had like a veterans combine at the NCAA Final Four, which travels every year to a different city, and was in New Orleans. Met her, so she was a year out of college. I was 3 years in the league, 2 years in the league, 3 years in the league. She caught me when I was young. Damn it!
Right,
I was living my best life, and I walked into her and was like, "Hey, you, me, together forever."
Yeah.
Then I was like, "Oh, she wrote." It's been love and happiness ever since.
Yes.
And do you think that her being an athlete herself, she understands it a lot more, your work schedule?
Yeah, I mean, I think basketball and football are completely different. It's like comparing, you know, basketball and rugby, you know, like
Sure,
the
like the amount of effort and dedication that you've got
absolutely.
to give, like
absolutely. You know, it's just the in my mind, we have a lot more time to dedicate to film study than actual playing, whereas basketball, it's a lot of on the court teaching. So the hidden hours is, you know, the hidden hours of recouping your body, because in basketball you can jog forever, and you know, in football you're damaging your body, so it's all types of you know, rehabilitation time. So it's the massages, it's the acupuncture, it's the dry needles, it's the actually having people come manually stretch you, it's yoga, Pilates. It's a lot of hidden hours of just trying to get your body back from, you know, being in a car crash every weekend.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like a normal season training week. So like you say, there's a lot of the physical training, like you say, the rest and recuperation, but it doesn't sound like there's a lot of rest. There's just a lot of
recuperation.
yeah. But then also, how like you talk about like in the classroom, as it were, learning all the plays. Like, how many do you have to learn, and how long does that take? Because I was because as a someone who didn't grow up with NFL, I came into it later on, and I was just blown away when someone actually sat me down and explained just how many plays there were for every given occasion. I just couldn't understand how you would learn all those and yet still keep up to the high physical standard that you need to be.
Sarah, are we allowed to curse on this podcast?
Yeah, go for it.
All right,
Can blow you
perfect.
out, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So the story, the moral of the story is know your for speed. Which just comes down to you're always in the study book, so you know it like the back of your hand, so you're not inhibited by how fast you want to go. Because if you're too busy thinking, you probably done screwed up already. You'd rather have a fast wrong play than a slow right play. Because if you're slow, something done passed you by. And in terms of our playbook is hefty. They install it 2 or 3 times over. So depending on which part of the year we're in, we've got OTAs, which is our on the field training, and that starts typically in pre-COVID, typically in April, and goes through June. And it's all just about installing, walking through plays, making sure you're lifting, running, conditioning. But the plays part is huge. I'd like to say we probably have 8 packages. So eight different types of packages, which probably has about 10 different plays within the package, with another 4 to 5 different variations of each play. So, yeah, at first glance, you're like, I can do this. And then you get it, you're like,
But yeah, I mean, did you find out that like picking up the plays and everything like that, because obviously it changes season upon season anyway.
Mhm.
But if you go back to say when you were in college, you're obviously doing you got the academia as well to take on board at the same time. Do you find that when you go out of college into the NFL, you're kind of like, oh great, that's one less thing to worry about, and just
100%,
it?
100%. Like when I enjoyed all 4 years of college, I loved every moment of college football. I loved every moment of my college experience at the greatest university, public university in the world, the University of California at Berkeley. I'd like to say we're probably top 25 most recognized colleges in the world. And then,
I mean, especially from a foreigner like myself, I went to a USC game, and I went along and I knew that they were, well attended,
right?
But I couldn't get over how many people were there to watch non-professional athletes, and it was like a full day experience as well. They had like the whole marching band before they've got the band playing, and coming from someone who goes to watch sports over in England, like soccer predominantly, it was a totally different environment to me to be in there, because I think college sport isn't a thing at all really, outside of certainly on the same scale as it is in the States, especially. So it's quite an eye opener for me to do it. But did that almost give you as well? It kind of tease you up to when you make the move to the NFL. It's kind of on a different level. Or?
I mean, the fanfare is completely different. So, in college, it's very locally centralized. And then once you get to the NFL, it's everybody. It's no longer like hey, all I got to do is get out this city and I'm nobody again. Now it's like I'm still like a state over, and people are like, hey, can I get an autograph? Hey, put your kid down so we can take this picture. And that's where it gets weird. You're like, I've got my son in my hand. No, yes. Anyways, you're going to take that anyway. But it's, like I said, I try and tell people, like, when some of my friends are like, man, wouldn't you want to be back in college? Absolutely not. I don't want to be back being broke and playing for free. I don't want to have to, I don't want to have to practice, like do these Oklahoma drills, these nonchalant Oklahoma drills, like where you're legitimately laying down on your back and you got another teammate probably 5 yards away. You're both laying on your back. The whistle blows. You guys hop up and then just hit each other. It's like looking at 2 Rams fight. You know what I'm saying? You just literally just pop up. And I'm not even sure what the point of the drill is. It's just one of these hard ass drills that was passed down through tradition. And then but I don't want to have to do that, be sort of beat up, still have to lift earlier in the morning, and then have to go to school where I have to sit in this classroom and try to absorb as much as I can. And oh, by the way, we still have practice later. So glad that's done. So glad it's done. You start at 5 a.m. You look up, it's 9:30, and you're like, damn, I still have to go talk to my girlfriend. I've got nothing for her. I still got to go hang out with my boys. I want to play video games, and now it's midnight, and now I got to start this over, and now I'm hurting. Even I'm just taking more sleep out of the bank. It's a never stopping revolving door of where's my sleep going to come from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, so in terms of, obviously, when you've grew up with as you say, your dad was in the league as well. Was it always in your mind to go into sports, or did you ever think if I wasn't in sports, what would I be doing? Like right now, as a revolving door, sliding doors question type thing. If you hadn't chosen to go to go into professional sports, do you ever have any idea what you'd be up to?
Yeah, absolutely. In my mind, I initially went to Cal with the intent of, I was huge on Greek mythology, Norse mythology. I loved superpowers of all sorts. So, I mean, when it comes down to it, I thought I was going to be a history major, and it was like, you can't specialize what era of history you're in. That's the 17-year-old me. Like, I just didn't know. I'm like, I'm gonna be a history major, but you have to learn everything. And you're like, and this is too much rhetoric. I'm reading way too much. I can't read all this. And so you immediately like, you know what? I was like, I'm gonna go to I've always been huge on debating. I was part of the debate team early on, like junior high, so middle school ish. Let's try out this legal studies. So did legal studies, which the University of California, Berkeley is one of the 4 schools in our nation, in the U.S. to actually have an undergrad legal studies, which is cool. But then shadowed a lawyer and was like, these guys are miserable. I've never seen a happy lawyer. And luckily by then, I was getting really good at football and didn't have to worry about it anymore. Like I was like, I guess I'm going to be pretty, well off and miserable because everybody needs a job, and I guess I would have been one of these, hopefully would have gone into the corporate lawyer world where I just would have been through litigation, siphoning money from the masses for years. Just been on retainer fees for decades off of nothing. I guess we need lawyers allegedly. That's a whole nother thing.
That's a whole different show.
That's a whole nother thing.
But like like how you said that you were obviously on the debate team. Does that come into you like obviously in a team environment in the locker room? Are you with that in your background? Is that easier for you to just voice your opinion? Obviously now being a veteran in the team, you can do that more freely. But
I'll say if you ever ask any of my family members here or when I was a kid, I've always been a part of the debate team. That doesn't leave. In the locker room when you have 53 guys going around, you have so many different eclectic personalities. But yeah, I'm probably one of the forefront voices that's in there, and I'm here for all antagonist approaches. Like I'm not even here to agree. I'm just looking to be on the other side of the fence of a lot of different things, as long as we're not talking about being flat earthers, which. Then then I don't have I can't tolerate that situation, that scenario. We've gone through that one too many times.
That's when you say you, me, Oklahoma drill now.
No doubt. You, me, we're going to figure this out in the ring of death. Let's go.
So with the when again in college and in NFL, do you have like a pre-game superstitions or anything that you like to do, or any routines that you have to get done before you go out?
So I didn't think I had any superstitions. Like I do my best not to be set in any one routine because I don't want to have to depend on something. But 10 years in, it's also like sort of a joke to me that I keep saying this 10 years in. Like it's such an odd blessing, like I never thought I'd be a decade in, and then like I was like, if I have a 10-year career, I'm great. But at 10 years, I'm like, I'm wonderful. Like I'm in my prime. I'm feeling good. In my
Okay.
mind, I don't think I'm going to be like Drew Brees or Aaron Rodgers, like 19 or 22 years into the league, but I'm thinking another 6, 5, 6, 7. It would be great. But so anyways, normally, before a game, I usually jog the field. I jog the whole field. It's like owning the field, the field you're going to play on. And whether I really warm up or not, it's just up to me how I feel about it. But so this damn card, which I didn't think was special at all. So this is my dad, of course.
Yeah.
This makes it to every travel bag. So every travel bag is a quick toss. I didn't know I was doing it up until about 3 years ago. Like it just always happened to be in the same bag. And I was just like, hey man, it's good luck. And now, like I said, now I've realized that I've tried not to bring him a couple times and it didn't work out well. So he goes in the bag. me and Steve Jordan are connected biologically and, as apparently a fanfare situation. Legacy ties.
And do you take your kids to the games as well? Are they fully into it? Like, do you think they'll follow in your and your wife's footsteps into sport, or are they kind of just up to their own thing at the moment?
Hopefully they follow into her footsteps. I'm hoping all my kids play everything but football. If they all play basketball, there's just a lot more money to be made. It's a lot more, it's all guaranteed money. Like, in football, you have something called guaranteed money versus, the unguaranteed money. Like our contracts are fully guaranteed. That for the amount of danger that we pose on our bodies, for the suffrage that we go through at times, you need those fully guaranteed contracts. Like basketball's fully guaranteed. I'm pretty certain that soccer and football out in the UK is definitely fully guaranteed, as I've seen, Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, if you're on those, you're doing okay plus sponsorships. But I mean, because that's things like watching programs like Hard Knocks, where it kind of shows you behind the scenes type thing. One, when they're about in the training facility, do they really get on your nerves as much as it comes across on the show, like the camera crew's always being around? But and also how Gunner's talking about that was, you see on that how they literally just cut through the guys and say, right, he's gone, right, like just with no thought to it.
No, say it gets ugly. I don't know. Luckily, I've never been a part of Hard Knocks, so I haven't had to deal with that. But I don't like cameras following me around. Anyways, think about it. You're going around your daily routine. You're in your underwear drawers, like trying to get ready for a practice, and you got a camera like right here. Like, how do you feel? Bro, if you don't get the hell out of my space before I break your little equipment. Yeah, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine. Then, of course, with cameras around, you're always going to have a couple guys that act out of character. All of a sudden they're, Captain America, or they're the next greatest thing since whatever, the Attila the Hun. You just, cameras bring in additional properties that you don't expect.
Yeah, wow. Definitely. We've seen that when if we're doing a film or something, there's always behind the scenes camera crew. And I can remember once, all of a sudden, this one guy who was quite quiet, all of a sudden he started being quite chirpy. And we were like, what the hell's wrong with you? And then we realized the camera guy was already watching. So
and you just add in your extra added. Like, that's not you. Be you, bro. Like,
yeah, exactly. You just have to bring him down on camera then.
But then again, you could always just do stuff and just hide stuff in their trailer and tell the cameraman, okay, wait by his door for about 5 minutes and see what happens. And there'll be like a load of wasps in there or something like that. There's always ways around it.
Get them back. I get you back.
So, Cam, for anyone outside of the States, it's a big thing anyway, but especially in the States, is the thing to watch, the Super Bowl. Could you describe the big phenomenon around it? Everything from like the game itself, obviously, but also the advertisements, the halftime show, all the food, all that kind of stuff. Like, can you
absolutely
give us the breakdown on it all?
When I was a kid, I looked forward to Super Bowl halftime. I looked forward to the Super Bowl ads. I didn't look like the Super Bowl was a thing that happened, but it was like a holiday. You go in knowing that you're going to eat great. You're going to have like unlimited sodas as a 7-8-year-old. like unlimited soda and candy is your holy grail. Like I knew going in, like they weren't going to, like they were just going to be too focused on the video on the Super Bowl to be worried about what I'm eating. Like it was like the ultimate, like, but bean dips, all types of 7-layer bean dips, 8-layer bean dips, like, all types of casseroles. You've got chicken wings galore, pizza, whatever it is. It's sort of like Thanksgiving in a way less formal setting. That's the easiest way to describe it. Like it's cousins, friends, whoever. It's like a family feel. Everybody from the damn neighborhood is in the house, and you're watching this Super Bowl. And by the way, again, it's like the greatest Super Bowl commercials ever. Like, growing up, it was like the Budweiser commercial where the little frogs were on.
Oh, was that a Super Bowl advert?
Yeah, it was like Budweiser.
Okay. Yeah.
Great commercial. Like, you're always going to remember that. It was the Doritos commercial, like, don't touch my mama, don't touch my Doritos. After, like, this little kid just slapped the man in the house. Like, and these, like I said, growing up, these are just commercials you're forever going to remember. And then you talk about the halftime shows. As a kid, there were people singing or whatever. That was great. But that was, that's outside looking in. And now as an NFL player, or at least when I became an adult, the ability to go to a Super Bowl that's top tier. That's top tier. Like, to think that the pinnacle of our sport leads to a Super Bowl where you have two teams pitted against each other. I've still yet to go to one as a player. I've got as far as the NFC Championship game, which is a game away from the Super Bowl. A couple years ago, lost to the Rams.
Was that with the really bad? We're not going to get into it, but that was with the really bad call.
I've been robbed. Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I've been robbed.
There was a big thing about that in the UK because right now it's we've in soccer they brought in the video referee, which is going down about as well as
terrible idea.
Wait, but you're telling me they're going to eliminate some flopping? That can't happen.
Well, I think
now they're called. No, they're literally called offside if someone's shoelace is in front of the line.
Oh, that's going to get ugly.
But then it kept going into it where, yeah, you think that's bad. Look, this could have been reviewed and it wasn't, and then they keep showing that play. So
brings a lot of skepticism in there and sort of tampers with the game. Just
definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
So, going back on track, but for the
lighten the mood, James.
Was there any like Super Bowl traditions for you as a kid, or that you now do with your kids and your family and friends?
Man, actually, if there was, I'm terrible at it. Normally, I'm flying in from the Super Bowl. Like, normally, I've missed probably the last 8 Super Bowls because I'm in air. Normally during, not COVID, pre-COVID situation, that Super Bowl week, you fly in, do a lot of media, do a lot of appearances surrounding, because it's a major event surrounding the Super Bowl. And then leading up right until these Super Bowls, like last year I did some pre-game analysis situations, right? Some shows with the NFL Network right before the Super Bowl. And then by the time kickoff happened, I was headed to the airport because I thought,
previous years be watching the games.
Yeah. Oh my God. Previous years, I was like, you know what? I was like, I could just kick it here. Like, I'm okay with seeing the Super Bowl in person. And then the competitor in me is like, you're not in it. Get the hell out. Like, I just like stomach flips. I'm like, you know what? I got to go. And every year they look at me like, no, I thought you were going to stay this year. With all due respect, kiss my whole ass. Like, I gotta go. I'm headed to go see just excuse. I'm headed to go see my kids. I was going to see them regardless. I was supposed to leave after Super Bowl. I just, scooted up 4 more hours. But just, if I'm not in it, I'm really hurt to watch it. I mean,
sure.
Yeah.
I catch it on ESPN, the updates, like, oh, they won. Good for them.
Right. Yeah.
Just bitter. Like I said, just bitter. And I love this sport. Like, there's nothing I'd rather do like in the off season rather than turn on my iPad and watch film, just breaking down different pass rush moves. But in terms of not being a Super Bowl, they're like, who do you want to win? I want everybody to lose. I want
I want a no
like,
contest.
yeah, I want everybody to be healthy, but I want somehow there to be a no contest.
But
Yeah,
we
you
thought,
could get all the players that were cut to like invade the field, couldn't you?
No doubt, just take over.
now that would be a halftime show. But right, so we asked some guys on Twitter to send over what traditional things they get up to for Super Bowl, and just wondered if you could cast your opinion on what they've said. So Madison said the number one Super Bowl rule for them is get out of Dad's way so you can watch. Number two, Dad will be grilling for 3 hours before the game even starts. Number three, whichever team Dad likes suddenly, you like them as well. So in that regard, do your kids, do they support whatever team? Like obviously support the Saints, or have they got their own different?
Only the Saints. Only the Saints. My oldest is 5. I got a 4, a 2, and a month and change. I got a brand new. So
congratulations.
I appreciate that. But my son and daughter are like, that's not the Saints. And we're, this is like during season, we're just watching, like, if we play on Sunday, then there's like a Monday night or Thursday night game. They're like, Dad, are you playing? I'm here, so I can't. Like, my son will be like, if they're not the Saints, who cares? I'm like, you're right. Who cares? Yeah. I like how we do business. Like this is the same energy that we're going to keep for the rest of our lives, unless you get hired by somebody else. Like, that then Dad'll jump on your bandwagon, and root for you. But till then, you're right. It's the Saints versus everybody.
Yeah.
It's good. Another girl, Lauren, sent a message in saying that the number one rule in my house, and this definitely applies, I know in my house whenever a big football game's on or a rugby game, is that you sit in the same spot, and if you leave the room and something good happens for your team, you are forced to stay out of the room until something bad happens. Yeah.
You got to stay out the room. Don't mess up the juju. Like I completely understand. I definitely have cousins that are just like that. Like, if they drink a beer and they score a touchdown, like every time they score a touchdown, now you got to drink a beer.
That sounds like a good tradition. I'm not going to lie.
Well, actually, funny you should say that because we did get a message. Okay, so since most restaurants are packed, my family orders a crap ton of pizzas and we watch the game all night. And everyone over 21 takes shots for every touchdown the other team gets, which is probably one way to spend the night as well.
Responsible drinking going on there.
No doubt. You got to hey, leave your keys on the counter. Everybody in the house got to stay in the house. That sounds like it's going to be a hell of a ride, because if you're rooting for the Chiefs, then you're probably going to be drinking a lot. And if you're rooting for the other team, you got a chance. We'll see. But the Chiefs put up points either last year, this year, hopefully.
Is that who do you reckon then for this year?
The turf. I want them both to lose. I don't know how. Okay. I haven't figured that part out. If I had to choose one, I can't choose. You know what? The team in red.
Okay.
Yeah. The ones with helmets on, right?
The ones with helmets, yeah.
The good old ones with helmets. Damn it.
This is Nick, and says, I'm not American, I'm French, but I love the Super Bowl, but I'm not in a good country to watch it. So I don't have any traditions about it. But 2 years ago on Super Bowl night, I asked my girlfriend to be my wife at Walt Disney World. Is Super Bowl Sunday traditionally a romantic event?
No, it is not.
That's the romantic Frenchman, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it could be. Just think about if your team wins the Super Bowl, you're probably at the happiest moment of your, current mindset. So then you could just turn it into, I'm sure a lot of kids are conceived on that night. Just like, my team won the Super Bowl, and now it's time.
And there may even be some marriages would have happened on the back of that as well.
No doubt.
Such a joy at me. Or even sometimes because I remember when I was in Australia and I had an engagement ring to propose to my wife, but I didn't know when on this trip I was going to do it. And I said, so I went to watch a cricket match out there, and we were sat outside, and England were getting absolutely thrashed by the Australians at the time. And I thought, right, if just one of our players makes over 50, I'll do it tomorrow. And sure enough, Ian Bell gets 60 something not out. So I'm like, right, okay, I've got to do it tomorrow. And then I'm thinking, right, I'm going to toss a coin. Am I definitely going to do it today? And it was one of those heads. One more heads. Right, okay, I'll do it. So you never know. There may be some people saying, right, if this team gets over a certain amount of points, I'll do it today or something like that.
No doubt.
Firing up.
So apparently I owe my wife a way better proposal. You just went to fucking Australia to do it. Damn it.
I did, but I didn't tell her though. I got to be honest, I didn't tell her until a week before that we were going to watch a cricket tour. So, but still, we still went to Australia though. It was good.
Still, I'll say still you got engaged in Australia. I rolled over in bed, was like, hey, babe, let's do this for the rest of our lives. Huh? You want to continue this? I like this.
Yeah,
We should continue this. So apparently I owe her a better one. I told her, 10 years in, well, I'll get her a better one. Apparently I got to get a better ring and a better proposal. So I will just do both.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blast.
Is that coming out?
I thought we were married. I thought I didn't have to do this anymore.
Cam, we're looking into it, and we saw that your charity work is really inspiring. I know you don't want to blow your own trumpet and all that, but I have to say how great it has been to see all the amazing effort that you've done, giving back to the people of New Orleans. How do you pronounce it? New Orleans or New Orleans? Nolans.
Yeah.
So ever since you arrived there, you've been giving back to the community. Can you give us a couple of highlights of things that you've done since 2011 and up until like COVID time as well?
I don't even focus on what I've been doing. Honestly, I'm always looking for the next phase. Like, what can I do? My ideology in life is 1% better every day. So, I'm always trying to be better in some facet. Just like, what am I focusing on? So when we talk about my philanthropic efforts, it's really just like, what does my community need? Like, coming in, not knowing anything about New Orleans, coming from Arizona. I spent every Tuesday during season going into the city, going outside of the city, visiting different elementaries, middle schools, and high schools. Just talking to the kids, seeing what the vibe was of the city, and surrounding areas. I mean, I've gone everywhere from, Eugene to Shreveport, and so that's probably a 6 or 7 hour split difference there.
Wow.
But usually if it's that far out, it's during the off season. And
is this just on your own own back, or is this isn't anything to do with the club or anything?
No, so we have a community relations lady, and when you're a rookie, they try and like show you different spots, and I got to be real personal with her, and she's sort of like my teammate in the city. Like, I'm like, hey, do we have connections here? Or she sort of helps vet a school, like I'm not just going to walk into be like, hey, Cam Jordan here, let me talk to your kids. So yeah, I definitely use her to vet so they know I'm just coming in like, so who is this grown ass man trying to talk to these kids? I don't need to be in jail just that's what I'm saying. Don't need to be in jail just trying to say hi, but no, seriously, just like talking to these kids, hosted, which spurred into hosting kids camps, teaching football to these kids, everything from hosting backpack drives for, back to school drives to turkey drives to what have I done? I mean, that's just something that's been fun. Again, just getting to know your community. When you talk about starting the foundation, God is love, and that same mindset of 1% better every day, that's also believing in positivity begets positivity. So any one action that you do with a positive, and not only a positive mindset, but the idea that you're not looking to get anything back, always goes way farther than you think it would. And I've had kids that I've talked to, or kids that I've gone to a house and donate, pay their electric bills or whatever it was, come back 8, 9, 10 years later and just like, hey man, you did this, you did this for me, and it really touched me. And now, I've gone on to a better, I was inspired to go to a better college. I was inspired to do things that, whatever. And it's uplifting. Like, you hear 5 years later, you're in a grocery store and a man walks up on you because this man's like 20. Like, bro, when I was 14, you came to my school. You told me about the University of California, Berkeley, and it brought out, like, I thought I was going to stay in state for school. And because of you, I ended up going to Arizona State, and really had a phenomenal blast. Now I'm a realtor out in Arizona, and I'm like, and travels.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But so starting so then a couple years ago I started up God is Love Foundation, and lets me do whatever I want. Really, it's just like it was an excuse for me to start a 501c to now and create a crowdfunding. When you have guys or people who support you, and you have like-minded business-minded friends that just want to throw like resources at you, you're like, bro, I just do this on my own. Which now we're creating an even bigger effect. When hurricanes came through Lake Charles, we hit Louisiana, was able to raise $50,000, something like that, and give it to and partner with United Way to try and help the people in Lake Charles. So then we started up again, just with the hurricane fund was huge this year. And then of course we now partnered up with the Crescent City Corps in New Orleans, which is going to focus on I wouldn't say retraining the local police, but add to like a certain distinction of, I would like to say, improvising training program for the New Orleans PD, which is going to be awesome. And that's probably my biggest, happiest accomplishment is partnering with the city to try and create real change.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. No, well
Congratulations
done,
on all that, mate.
Yeah.
No doubt.
It'll continue.
Yeah, I'm saying, look, you made me think about it. I was like, what have I done?
Yeah. And now we go. Yeah, I'm not going to say it. But so let's talk about, obviously, with life in lockdown and everything, what's been going on. So you and your family have taken part in making a series of videos while seeing what the New Orleans Saints. I can't even say it right. New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
Social media
like
accounts.
The New Orleans Saints. New Orleans, but everybody locally like, welcome to New Orleans, baby. Like, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. That New Orleans baby is real. You don't even know where the New and the Orleans becomes one word. It just happens.
Right. Okay. I'm not. I love learning new things. Okay. So start that again. So anyway. So you and your family have been doing these videos with the New Orleans Saints social media. There we go. And I noticed that they were able to put that up because I saw the video of your lad with the weighted, what's it called, smash ball, just like doing like the 1, 2, 3 type burpees. No, it wasn't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And when that type of thing, like fitness videos and read bedtime stories and stuff like that, is that just like your family life? You thought, right, okay, this is what we're doing, and it shows other people as well. One way of adapting to the lockdown, or is it just something where you can do to keep it going with staying sane?
Absolutely. That gives them a little reprieve because legitimately since March they've been on super lockdown. Like, they don't leave the 4 walls of our house. They've been awesome this past year, because it's like we went from kids going to school to now homeschooling. So she handles all of that. Like, she does everything. It's bad when she gets mad at you for leaving to go to work. You gotta go outside. I'm going to work, babe. Like, I'll be like, I'm coming right back. You get to leave. You see other people. I do. And you all you get to see is this face and our 3 kids. You're right. I'm sorry. But it gives them a complete reprieve, just in terms of giving them an extra activity to do, whether it's, the Nerf gun wars we had every week for the first 4 months of quarantine, to, again, the fitness videos you see. And the fitness videos, it's inspired off of their punishment. Like, they don't get timeout. They do push-ups and jumping jacks.
They do proper push-ups as well. It's not a cheap push-up that you see some guy in the gym doing. It's a proper down to the floor. Yeah, absolutely. There's no cutting corners here. And like I said, when they mess up or they're not focusing, then it's time for push-ups. And or now, my 5-year-old now does planks. Like, you're going to be strong if you don't know how to listen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't do what my parents used to do. I can't just like chuck a shoe at a kid. That's 2020, 2021, the new age. You can't just do what you want. You can't just slap a kid in the back of the head. That's not flying these days. But what we can do is these wall squats.
So
Give me the shoe any day.
that's what I'm saying. Give me a minute of wall squats and you change your tune up.
But I did love it though when I was reading how you said how you guys were playing in the front on the driveway with like paint balloons and stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely.
But like how even now, like when you pull on the driveway, that will remind you of that.
Yeah,
Of that fun time, which is great. Which I don't think many people have kind of taken that step back to see what people have been doing in the lockdown periods, and they can almost like remind themselves of, okay, that was when we made the best of a bad situation with anything what was going on.
no doubt. That, I mean, we got all types of, we got everything in this house. At this point, it's become like its own little fun house. I mean, on Fridays they paint their hair. Like I've got so many bottles of like little hair paint. You know what I'm saying? My son has had every color hair possible. I mean, they look like Sailor Moon characters out in this thing. Like, just random bulbs and colored hair everywhere. They look like little trolls. That's on Fridays. But that's just it. Like you have to make it fun. You have to make it innovative. Like kids don't care that you're on quarantine. Kids don't even perceive what's going on in this world. So you have to make it fun for them.
Like I said, this is called normal, not normal. So a couple of final couple of questions was, what's the most normal thing about you, Cam?
What is normal these days? Who defines normality? To define normal means that there has to be a sense of commonality between the entire world.
You can see you're the one who went to uni here.
That's what I'm saying. The only normal thing I think I do is before I leave the house, I make sure that I'm cooking breakfast. I prefer my breakfast over her breakfast.
Okay.
Even if you tell the world that, they know I'm a better cook.
Oh, brilliant. So in terms of that, then, what would be the least normal thing?
The least normal thing. Oh man.
I mean, to be honest,
great question.
From listening to you, I don't think it's that normal in terms of your charity work, to definitely not rest on your laurels and keep doing what you're doing. And as you say, like the normality thing is a commonality of what
no doubt
people do, but it's still, not necessarily that's a bad thing. The least normal thing about anybody isn't the negative.
See, I think that's a normal for me because as far as I know, my dad did the same thing. For me, right. It's normal. If anything, that's a normal part of my daily life as well. Not normal. What's not normal? I mean, I feel like out of all my friends, I'm probably the only one that reads anime the way, or reads manga and manhwas the way that I do. I can't kick the habit.
I reckon they do, but they don't tell you.
Yeah, I'll say I'm not hiding it. I'm just like, yo, bro, like I checked out this new manga, and they're like, all right, Cam. And I'm like, yo, no doubt. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the support of my friends. But let's go with that. I mean, if anything, I think I'm more normal. Like I wish I had some talents. I have football. I've got kids. I think I give a lot to the community. I want to be able to play piano. So they asked me in about a year if I can play piano, then that'll be my unnormal trait.
Right.
Or Spanish.
Yeah,
Spanish. Well,
James has been trying Spanish for a long time, but I bet he couldn't tell you what a glass of water is right now.
Oh, come on. Come on.
But also as well, just one of the questions, we heard that you mentioned it before, but like, so we played in Harry Potter, our characters played Quidditch, which is very much like, I suppose,
I've played before. Yep. Continue.
Defensive aggressors. That's kind of, I suppose, in a nutshell, what your position is on the football field. Is that, would that be, but I mean, in terms of like instead of using bludgers and stuff like that, you're using your whole torso. Is that, are you familiar in what type of position you would be if you were a Quidditch player?
Good beater.
Definitely.
I'm
Great. So, Cam, I've just got what I call them 3 a.m. questions because the best answers come when you're not thinking about them at 3 a.m. in the morning.
if I'm up at 3 a.m. in the morning, I'm drunk.
Exactly. So they're basically a first file. I was actually able to send you a couple of to prep, which I normally
I refused. I refused to look at them.
Amazing.
Excellent.
Good.
I look, I take. I was like, don't tell me. Just shoot the shot.
So, what is your favorite book?
Growing up or now?
Either.
Okay, so growing up, it was Anne McCaffrey's White Dragon. So I grew up like I needed to know there was like other entities in this world or something like that, and dragons did it for me. So then I guess now I really enjoyed the Dark Matter series. And of course, I guess throughout my childhood, of course, it was been probably the Harry Potter series because that carried me from like 4th grade through the last book I was in college or some shit like that. Like it was like 15 years, a span of 15 years.
Yeah. Good choice. Good choice.
What is your favorite food?
Favorite Mexican food. I'm from Arizona. Like I was born in Minnesota, but I'm from Arizona. It has to be enchiladas, chicken enchiladas with the green chili sauce, which the UK, like being out.
Don't get me started on Mexican.
Don't.
food.
It's not. It's not.
On the
When
whole,
it's
even
served-
melted cheese on some Doritos, and that's
That's what I'm
Mexican
saying.
over here.
But even
Served
but
with
even
chips.
even Spain, like Spain is amazing in itself, but it's still not Mexican food. Like it's my fault. It's my
Definitely.
fault.
Actually, during the last lockdown, I actually was determined to learn how to make tortillas.
Yeah.
So
Fire.
doing the whole
You,
press.
I'll say you got the whole press because
Yeah, yeah.
you can't
I went
just roll
big.
those things out. You got to have like a real press. I do them from time to time.
Yeah, that was
Like,
good fun.
nothing better than hot tortillas. Huh.
Right, I know what I'm having for dinner tonight. What is your favorite song?
Favorite song. Push It by OT Genesis or Papa Got a Brand New Bag.
Nice.
James Brown.
James Brown,
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm also good with some Avenge Sevenfold just because I love like a solid guitar solo. Have no idea what they're saying, by the way. No, but I'm in love with the idea of a guitar solo.
Go for it. What is your favorite film?
Favorite film? Again, childhood or now? Childhood.
Either or. Either or.
Either or.
Lion
Either or.
King.
Lion King. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
like you can't beat Lion King. You can't. Now I have to rely on Hitch. Like it's comical relief that you never knew you needed. It's Will Smith. Damn it.
Definitely. And finally, what is your favorite quote?
I think therefore I am would be the quote. And I feel like every philosopher ever probably took claims to that. So the origin of that to me is unknown. In fact, new favorite movie, Anchorman. I can't live without it. If you said I could only walk away with one movie, it'd be Anchorman or Talladega Nights. Damn Will Ferrell.
That's a very underrated film, isn't it?
No doubt. Talladega Nights is greatness.
There's a lot of good quotes as well from Anchorman. Yeah, I was going to say because on the Anchorman, I was going to say because on the Anchorman one, whenever my mates and I are on if the night's getting a bit wild, shall we say, someone always has to shout out at the top of regardless where we are, someone has to shout Aqualung, like when he's playing the jazz flute.
Mm-hmm. The jazz
kind of
flute, yes.
That's kind of like the signal to, okay, we're going out.
It's time to roll. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta play the jazz flute sometimes, being our own glass box of emotions. Yes, yeah. That's a solid one. That's solid. It's probably Anchorman.
Yeah, good choice. Cam, thank you so much. I'm conscious of the time, mate, but thank you so much for being able to join us today. That's been really, really enjoyed having you on.
No doubt. I appreciate you guys having me on. I would say even if you aren't Saints fans, come on over. We just better. We have a better fan base.
Actually, our first ever NFL game was in Chicago, but it was the Bears versus the Saints.
Okay.
But
so you watched us win.
Well, no, it was the week. It was the week. It was the Super Bowl season of when the the Cubs,
2009?
the
2008,
Bears.
2009?
Okay, so before me.
When
Yeah.
it was before you, but I know it was the week before Christmas, and it was so cold. Like I was literally that I was like we were able to go down to the field beforehand, and it was harder than concrete.
You deserve better.
I completely agree with you wanting to stay in where it's warm.
Exactly. So next time, I'm just going to hit you guys up next football season and like, hey, are you guys doing anything? Come on down to New Orleans. I can treat you to a way better football game than whatever you witnessed. We're better. It's a way better atmosphere. Think about 75,000 fans screaming, "Who that say gonna beat them Saints?" And that's just that's just before the initial kickoff. It's bone chilling. It's probably, like, being dead serious, it's probably the top 2 and not 2 type of stadiums that you're going to play in and be around in terms of fan crowd audience. It's ridiculous. It's like I guess I've only been to a couple two soccer games, but it's legit like being
who did you see? Which soccer teams did you see?
We watched the Arsenal game. What was that, 2 years ago when we played in London? We watched Arsenal.
I was going to say, you played in the Wembley game, right?
The Wembley game, yeah.
Yep. And then we also had I also got to see the Man City game. I thought I was a Man United fan, and I've never been to a Man United game. I just don't know if I'm not a fan.
Right, that's like a lot of Man United fans.
Man. Damn it! I'll do better.
Well, that camp, we'll definitely have to take you up on that offer, though. We definitely love to do that.
Definitely. And if you're ever in the UK, please let us know, and we'll love to say thank you for coming on here today.
For sure. Once we get out of this,
take you to a Mexican house or something.
Definitely.
No Mexican houses, no blood sausage. My only 2 rules about the UK. Please.
That sounds good.
Fantastic.
That's great. Cheers again, mate. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a nice recovery in off season. I hope next season goes really, really well for you.
I appreciate that. You guys have a blessed one. Thanks for having me on.
And you. Take care, mate. Bye.
That was so cool being able to chat to Cam today.
It was really good fun, especially because he's such a good guy just to talk to. He's very easygoing. You wouldn't believe he's the best player in the league at that position. And all the stuff that he as a person has done for charity, and he's giving back, and just always basically looking forward. It was quite funny. We pretty much had to, I know we've had to edit that little bit in, but we had to pretty much get it out of him of what he's done. So it was, it just shows that if you just, how can I say it without sounding a bit silly? Just giving out good energy, as it were, good things to people. Either it's just your time, it can really come back. Just like when he said that that guy came over to him and said, 10 years ago you came into my school, and now I'm living a great life in Arizona. That was fantastic.
Yeah, and I suppose, as he says, I suppose as well that, money can buy you a lot of cool stuff, but it will never be able to buy you that feeling when you get spoken to, when someone speaks to you and says what an impact you have had on that person's life. Like, it's such an amazing thing. So yeah, just well done, and a huge thanks again to Cam for coming on. We've been talking for a couple of months now about getting him on the show, and it's a shame that we weren't able to speak to him with him being in the Super Bowl this week, but we're fully supporting him to get there next season with the Saints. Yeah, I hope so, and hopefully we can. Do you reckon he can? I reckon we could at least go to one of the games next season if we can travel. He invited us.
He did, and I'd love to go and see a game in Narlands. If I said that correctly.
Narlands.
There you go. There's how to sound like a local. But again, Cam, thank you so much for joining us, mate. It was really enjoyable to have you, and all the best with your time off.
Exactly. James, so what are you getting up to? Where are you watching the Super Bowl?
Super Bowl, I'll be doing what I normally do. So, well, that's not true, is it? Usually a couple of friends and I, we normally have a late night party to watch it. And again, we get the hot dogs and all that kind of stuff, which came about because we saw a few games, didn't we, when we used to be in California over this time of year. And so we got into the whole American side of it. So we would, my pals and I who used to do that, we would kind of recreate that in the middle of the night over here. But unfortunately, that isn't going to be happening this year. So I'll be on my own with the dog watching the Super Bowl. Try not to wake my wife up if I get a bit loud watching the game.
Very, very nice. I think it should be good fun.
Well, here's it. Okay, it's going to bring me on to my Did You Knows. First one.
Can I throw a Did You Know? Let me throw a Did You Know at you, because I thought, as this is a Super Bowl special, normal, not normal, I thought... Yeah, very special. I thought I'd show you something. I thought I'd tell you something. So here's a Did You Know fact. So did you know that the first Super Bowl, so Super Bowl 1,
Yep.
which took place on the 15th of January 1967, the halftime show featured the Three Stooges with the University of Arizona and the Gambling State Marching Band. So it's a little bit different to how it's gone on to this whole pageantry right now, but still, nonetheless, a very good spectacle.
But do you know who won Super Bowl 1?
I know Nixon was in the crowd.
It was won by the Green Bay Packers, and it is called the Vince Lombardi Trophy. He was the first coach who won it.
Of course.
And he had a great saying, which was, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, don't bother showing up at all. There you go. So, my Did You Know facts for the day. First of all, did you know this Super Bowl happening this year, 2021, I don't even know which one it is. It's 72?
What, you can't read Roman numerals?
I haven't even looked at it. Hang on.
Why do they do that, right? For some reason, why is the Super Bowl always in Roman numerals? Do you think it worked really well when they thought, okay, Super Bowl 2, yeah, we'll just put those two numbers together. Okay, 3, yeah, we'll do a 3.
So this year, Super Bowl 55, did you know this is the first time ever that the city that is hosting the Super Bowl is in the final at their stadium? Tampa Bay.
Home team is the home team.
Tampa Bay are playing. They're going to be playing the Kansas City Chiefs, and they're going to be playing at Tampa Bay's home stadium. First time ever.
It is Raymond James Stadium. I remember I went to see a game there last year before last, and so when the Bucks score, there's a pirate ship right at the one end, and when they score, they fire this cannon out of this pirate ship. It scared the hell out of me. I didn't know what was going on to begin with, and then thought, of course, why wouldn't they have a massive pirate ship? What fires from there? But it was all very, very good, and very much. If you're an outsider looking in and thinking, "What is American sport?" Right there, that was
This
it.
is it. So, another Did You Know fact. You know, so in America, this always blew my mind beforehand about any kind of American sports, but some teams move cities. And
It's mad, isn't it? It is absolutely incredible.
it's hard to imagine so I know Wimbledon did it in football years ago, but that didn't really work out
Did
well.
it?
But normally teams in a lot of other countries just stay in the town. But in America, in a lot of their sports, especially NFL, it would appear, they move all over the place, some of them. And so, do you know which team has moved the most?
The Rams?
You are correct, yep. So, they are now known as the Los Angeles Rams, but they began in Cleveland, then they moved to Los Angeles, they then moved to Anaheim, but they're still called the
So they were
LA Rams.
What were they there before the Browns?
I guess so.
Because the Browns moved, didn't they? And then they became.
No, okay, stop it. You're okay.
Sorry.
So, yeah, the Los Angeles Rams, they began in Cleveland, so that's one. They then moved to Los Angeles, first move.
2.
So that's their second home. They then moved to Anaheim, which is south of LA, but they're still known as the LA Rams. But let's face it, they still moved into Anaheim. Then they moved to St. Louis, and then they moved back to Los Angeles. 5 different homes.
It's mad, isn't it? And do you want to know a little connection, I suppose, between the two?
Go on.
Right. So the current owner of the Rams
Yep.
is also the part owner of Arsenal Football Club.
Yes.
Did you know that Arsenal are called Arsenal because originally they were from Woolwich Arsenal in South London and moved to North London, which really ruffled Tottenham Hotspur because they were the North London team when they moved up there. So there you go. That's why there's a bit of a thing about them. That's why Arsenal are called Arsenal, even though there was no gunnery around there.
Another one. Did you know that American football? Everyone thinks, why is it called football when it's predominantly kept in the hand? Well, it all came. There's a couple of things here. First of all,
is it anything to do with the body part?
Well, no. That's again. There are a few different ideas for this one. first of all, it comes from anything in when football and rugby was played. It was known as either football or rugby football, and then when that moved over to America and brought over, it was eventually turned into American football and then just called football. Idea number one. Number two, it is half an inch off. Actual American football, the ball itself is half an inch off being 1 foot long. 2.
Right.
3, you start a game by kicking the ball with your foot. I don't know if that's did you know, but that's just random facts. So, going on to where Cam plays in New Orleans, their team, the Saints. They awarded the NFL expansion when it expanded in the 1st of November 1966, which just so happens to be All Saints Day.
And is that where the name came from?
I don't think so, but it definitely worked in their favour, didn't it? Now,
It was a good omen.
they also have, the Saints, they also are the only NFL team to have 2 mascots. One is Gumbo the dog, and the other is Sir Saint. And if you look at what they look like,
Hang on.
I'll let you
They were
decide.
really imaginative with these names, weren't they?
I'll let you, if you look at what
Sir
these look like,
Saint.
I'll let you decide who Oliver and I look like.
God, well, you've definitely got the face of Sir Saint. I'll give you
No,
that.
that's you on your rant. I'm a dog person anyway, so I'm going to go with Gumbo. Anyway, that was my Did You Know facts about NFL. If you've got any other good ones, please let me know, because I know there are plenty more to about the sport, but it is a really enjoyable sport. Again, something that I never really got into until I started spending a lot more time in the States, and it is a really fascinating game to go into. And again, hearing from Cam all the different things that the players have to learn, it just blows your mind how they do it.
It is. I think that's it. Like, to the untrained eye, you'd look at it and just think, oh, they're just running at each other as hard as they can. But it's also not just knowing your plays, but also, part of the opposition plays as well, because I need to know where they're going with it. Taking constant instruction from the side. It is a brutal sport. Let's make no bones about it, So nothing but respect for anyone who wants to put themselves through that in the name of their passion and their sport.
Definitely. But I think that's enough for... Is that enough?
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
I think so, yeah. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us on this Super Bowl special. Sounds a bit weird, that, doesn't it?
You can't say Super
should be
Bowl
having like
special
a-
because we haven't got anything... Have I got any...
Okay.
That's how
Let's do
Americana
that.
I'll get. Right, there we go. Actually, I've got a better one. There. It's a bit slanty because I sat on it, unfortunately, but... Yeehaw!
Well, hang on. What's that? So what has that got to do with the Chiefs or the Buccaneers?
They've all played at some point the Cowboys.
Very good.
And
I'll
with
tell you
that,
what,
guys, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening.
Hang on. Hang on. We'll go around here. Not my Villa scarf. Right, so if you are getting into the spirit of things today, have a good one.
No.
It's all about the environment, isn't it? Mate, cheering for the right team. So, guys, stay safe. We'll see you next week. Hey!